Hey folks, welcome to the draw session. So today's session, we're going to be talking about drawing habits that actually make you worse. And some of these might be a little touchy to some because, hey, drawing and art in general, it's very personal to us. We don't want to be criticized. We tend to put our heart on our sleeve, let it all hang out when we post our artwork online, especially for likes. But let's jump into today's session. Oh, and by the way, while I'm talking about these things, hey, feel free to watch me draw a rhinoceros. All right, habit number one. Well, I guess I just gotta draw more. We've heard this time and time again. Teachers, parents, friends, random people on the internet, they all say, if you want to get better, you should just draw more. And while 2% of that is true, the other 98% needs to be including what to actually. We've all heard the term practice makes perfect, but that's not actually true. What is true is perfect practice makes perfect. You gotta know what to practice in order to get good at specific things. You can't just spray and pray. What happens is that when we draw just to draw, random stuff, sure, we're building up the mechanical side. The truth to it is, while a lot of us say, hey, you should spend 1 hour a day, 20 minutes a day, 2 hours a day drawing, yes, that's to build up your hand, eye, and brain coordination so that you can physically make good-looking lines on the paper. But it stops there because every single person that is learning to be a better sketcher, everybody has a goal in mind as to what they want to be good at. Drawing characters, creatures, props, environments, cars, people, kids, pets, animals. Hey, the list goes on. You have to think about what you actually want to be good at, and then you can hone your focus in on that. All right. Let's jump into habit number 2. The belief that using reference is cheating. Okay, I want to tell you all the truth, and some of you probably won't like this, is that copying is okay. A lot of people out there, especially aspiring artists who believe that drawing from your imagination brain is the only way to go, that is going to hurt your chances of actually becoming a well-rounded artist. Let me explain. Every time that somebody learns a new skill, whether it's playing an instrument, whether it is painting, drawing, singing, we all have our heroes, the people that we look up to, positive influences that we try to mimic our actions off of. Me, when I was growing up, you better believe that I looked at all of the awesome artists in the 80s and 90s while I was drawing. Heck, I grew up in the golden age of action flicks, 1980s. And on top of that, horror flicks. Okay, we had Predator, Aliens, Michael Myers. We had the monsters in Howard the Duck, Dark Crystal. I mean, you keep going with the list of creatures in the 80s. And we were very lucky. That helped influence me. So you better believe that I was drawing the Xenomorph. I was drawing Predator. I was drawing the werewolves in American Werewolf in London. All of those, The Thing. I mean, I can keep going. I copied them. I copied until the visual library was built up in my brain so much that I could take a piece of paper, sit anywhere I wanted, and I could draw anything I wanted within that subject matter. Why? Because I used reference until I didn't need the reference anymore. But there's something to be adding on to that. It doesn't matter how good you are. You could be a 25, 30, 40-year veteran in this industry and you still need reference because, hey, we're artists. We are an open book. We are trying to take in information and learn as much as we can because using reference is the root of all learning. Okay? You've heard the term copying is a form of flattery. Well, that's not the exact term, but it's roughly the same thing. It's true. It is very true. A lot of environment artists today, you better believe they were looking at Albert Bierstadt, Thomas Moran, all of the famous old school master environment painters. Okay? All right, let's jump into habit number 3. You're almost setting your goals a little too high. There's nothing wrong with taking quote-unquote baby steps. Let me explain. When we jump into learning new skills, whether it's, Hey, I saw these awesome images on ArtStation and I suddenly want to become a Blender artist. I want to render awesome 3D scenes and, Unreal or Unity or whatever. But all of the necessary steps to get to that point are ignored or brushed over. There's nothing wrong with taking little steps here and there, and then you slowly start to build up your skills until you are making things that look great, that make you feel good, and that are portfolio worthy. The thing is, we should not go beyond our own skill. It's okay to set your difficulty level a little lower. That's fine. Everybody has a handicap when we learn. When you look at somebody that is a very good artist and you're saying to yourself, there is no way I'm ever going to get to that level. You're probably right, because you're telling yourself there is no way that you're going to get to that level. You see the end result from somebody that's been doing it for 35 years. You, on the other hand, you need to start somewhere, because no matter the skill level that we see online or in person, they all started the same exact way. The next habit. This is something I've done. This is something almost everybody does. We fall in love with the art that we're making. Let me tell you something. There is art that we make that is good, and then there is art that we make that is not good, but we think it is, so we post it anyway and we put it in our portfolio. So we have to get into the habit of throwing out our art and making new art on a consistent basis, especially those of you that want to become a concept artist for the games and film industry, especially video games, where the time frame in order to produce concepts is far greater than what you have for film. See, for games, we can be asked to design 30 or 40 different space helmets for a space marine, and none of them are good. So we have to start over again, and then we do another 30, 40, or 50. We can't get attached to the things that we draw and paint, because there's always something better that we can make. Now, we as artists, we're perfectionists. It's kind of hard to not fall in love with something that you pour your blood, sweat, and tears into, because we want to get the likes. We want to get all that social recognition. We want to get that validation that what we made is awesome and it can compete with everybody else that is awesome. It's not going to happen. Okay, we have to set aside that want and desire to fall in love with the things we draw, and we have to keep going. Draw something, throw it away. Draw something, throw it away, and you will get better over time. All right, the last habit, and this is probably the most crucial one out of any of them, and that is you have no goals in mind. You're kind of just doing it. If you want to become serious about being a good drawer and being a good artist and concept artist, and yes, we can all tie those terms together. If you want to be a good designer, all right, you have to give yourself a goal. When I was growing up and I was drawing, even before I was 10, I had the luxury of already knowing what I wanted to do. Not everybody has that luxury, and hey, guess what? If you're listening to this right now and you're frustrated because you don't know what you want to pursue, that's totally okay. A lot of times it doesn't happen until you least expect it. If you're having trouble figuring out what your goal is as an artist, or what you actually want to pursue as far as a niche goes, imagine that you have a sketchbook on the nightstand next to your bed. You wake up one morning, you open it up. What is the first thing that you would doodle subconsciously without thinking of it? Weapons, cars, creatures, characters, whatever that is, that's probably the indication that you should pursue that very subject matter. We all have different interests when we pursue concept art. So, for example, me, I focus on creepy, scary, rather brutal looking creatures from other worlds and, demons and such. However, I also really like environments And I do like props. You know, when I was in school, I designed cars because I was in product design and that was my focus. So you can have multiple interests, but your main interest, your main goal, is probably going to be the goal that you not only should strive to achieve, but also will get your foot in the door no matter where you want to go. Okay, I really hope that helps. And if you're interested in this kind of content and you want to learn more, please like and subscribe, comment below. I would love to hear your opinions on struggles that you're having right now as an artist. Like what's the number one thing that you get anxious about that makes you second guess your desire to become a good artist? I would love to hear it. Thanks for listening to this, and I can't wait to see the work that you guys produce. See ya.